Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Welcome to today's episode of the Senior Safety Advice Daily Podcast. I'm Robin Schultz, and today I want to talk about something that's both simple and powerful. The kinds of conversations that truly strengthen family bonds. You know, it's funny how we can live under the same roof or talk on the phone every week, and yet we still feel a little disconnected from the people we love most. Life gets busy, we rush from one task to the next, making meals and handling medications and juggling appointments, and before we know it, our conversations have turned into checklists. How are you feeling? Did you take your medicine? Do you need me to get anything for you at the store? All of those are caring questions, of course, but they don't always build connection. They cover logistics, not emotions. And that's where our family bonds really grow, in those small, honest moments when we pause long enough to really listen. So what kinds of conversations actually strengthen family bonds? Let's talk about a few. First, let's talk about memories, or you should talk about them too, to your loved ones, but you especially want to address the happy ones. Ask about their childhood, family trips, old friends. Memory sharing helps seniors feel valued and connected to their life story, and it helps younger family members understand where they came from. You could ask, what was your favorite job you ever had? What was Grandma like when she was young? What was your happiest moment as a parent? Sometimes these stories lead to laughter. Other times they might bring up tears. Both reactions are good because they show honesty and connection. Next, talk about feelings, and even the hard ones. When someone says they're lonely, frustrated, or afraid of losing independence, our first instinct might be to try to fix it. But often, the best response isn't fixing, it's listening. You can say, wow, that sounds really hard, or I didn't know you felt that way. Those simple words build trust. They say, I hear you and you matter. Another kind of powerful conversation is about gratitude. I've seen families completely shift their energy when they start saying out loud what they appreciate about each other. It could be as small as, thanks for making me coffee this morning, or I appreciate how patient you've been with me lately. When gratitude becomes part of daily conversation, love grows quietly in the background. Then there's the forward-looking conversation, talking about hopes and goals and what's next. It's easy to assume that once someone reaches a certain age, they stop dreaming or planning, but that is just not true. So ask them questions like, what's something you'd still love to do this year? Or is there a place you'd like to visit again? Or what project or hobby would you be excited about starting? These questions send a message that life isn't just about what happened in the past, it's also about what can be in the future. And one more tip, make space for humor. Laughter really is medicine. Sharing a funny story or a light moment breaks tension and reminds everyone that joy still belongs in the mix, even when life feels heavy. Sometimes when families are dealing with illness or caregiving stress, they feel guilty for laughing. But laughter doesn't mean we're ignoring the serious parts. It just helps us carry those parts with a little more strength. Now, if you're wondering how to start having these kinds of conversations, here are a few ideas. Try bringing up one new question at dinner or during a car ride or a walk. Ask about a memory tied to an object in the house, like an old photo, a recipe, or a piece of furniture. End the day by asking, what made you smile today? Or share something you've learned from your loved one recently and tell them so. You'll be surprised at how small moments can grow into meaningful ones. And here's something I want you to remember. Strong families aren't built by having perfect conversations. They're built by having honest ones. You don't have to agree on everything. You just have to stay curious about each other. Even if your loved one has memory loss or struggles with communication, tone and presence matter more than words. A warm voice, a gentle smile, a moment of shared attention, those are conversations too. So today, maybe pick one person, a parent, a partner, a sibling, or even a grandchild, and ask a question that invites a story. You might say, "Tell me about a time you felt proud," or "What is something you've been thinking about lately?" And then just listen. Because in that listening, you're giving one of the greatest gifts, the feeling of being seen and heard and loved. So thank you for joining me today. If this episode brought a little calm or inspiration to your day, share it with someone you care about. Maybe someone who could use a reminder to slow down and connect as well. You'll find more reflections and resources for seniors and caregivers at seniorsafetyadvice.com, and come back tomorrow for another daily moment of calm, guidance, and encouragement right here on the Senior Safety Advice Podcast. Until next time, take care of yourself and the ones you love. Bye.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.